Hello everyone, welcome to Boruto Explained, where we will today talk about the folklore behind Isshiki Otsutsuki, the main antagonist of the Boruto manga. Now Isshiki Otsutsuki's folklore, just like all the Otsutsukis before him, is based off the Japanese mythology of Issun-bōshi. Now Issun-bōshi's folklore goes something around the lines of he was wished for by his parents to come into existence, and he did. And he was a small boy, very, very small, and he did not grow no matter what his parents do. Now, one day, Issun decided to go forth into the palace and try to, gain his reputation. And during that time, he came across a princess who he, maybe we could say, fell in love with. Now, this princess and Issun was attacked by some monsters who had a magical hammer called Ichini no Kanzonchi. Now this magical hammer, Issun was able to beat the demons or the monsters and gain the power of this magical hammer, which allowed him and gave him the ability to grant himself a wish. Now this wishing ability gave him the opportunity to help himself grow, which he did, and he helped himself grow, and eventually he turned into a grown man where he was able to marry the princess. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because Isshiki Otsutsuki, just like all the Otsutsukis before him, is based off of Japanese mythology, and he is based off of the story of Issun-bōshi. Now, this manifests in Otsutsuki's ability to shrink objects. Now, remember, his ability is called Sakini Hokona, who's a Japanese deity, who is linked directly to the folklore of Issun-bōshi. Now we can see that Isshiki has the symbol of the mallet of Issun-bōshi on his chest, as we can see here, and also we understand that he's linked to the story of Issun-bōshi, and he's linked to the mythology. And this is how we can remember how the ability, the magical hammer, is called Ichini no Kanzonchi. And this magical hammer was said to be able to give Isshiki or Issun the ability to grant wishes. Now you may be saying, how do I know, or how do we know that Isshiki Otsutsuki has the ability to grant wishes? Well, this is the deity, the Koto-ten, in this picture, as you can see with the hammer. And the Koto-ten is linked to Issun-bōshi's folklore, same as Isshiki Otsutsuki, who is based off that folklore. Now the symbol of Ichini no Kanzonchi is this symbol right here, this black symbol, and it is right in the middle of Isshiki Otsutsuki's chest. We can never miss it. So we know Isshiki Otsutsuki is linked to this folklore directly. We know he has the ability of the magical hammer because he has the hammer on his chest. We know that this is linked directly to him. So how do we have proof that Isshiki Otsutsuki has the powers of this magical hammer? Well, we have already seen that Isshiki Otsutsuki is linked to Issun-bōshi in a lot of direct ways. As we can see here, Issun-bōshi's attire is similar to what we see Jigen wear. We also know that Isshiki Otsutsuki has the ability of Shikini Hona, which is a deity directly linked to Isshiki to the ability to shrink, and which is directly linked to Isshiki Otsutsuki and Issun-bōshi's storyline. But also not only that, but we know that Isshiki Otsutsuki has demonstrated some unexplained powers in the Boruto manga that we've seen already. Now forgive me for stumbling a bit here, I'm just trying to get through the information as quickly as possible without confusing you. Now this is the deity Sakuni Hokona here, and as you can see in these different paragraphs, Sakuni Hokona, the Koto-ten, the magical mallet, and the symbol of the magical mallet is all linked directly to Isshiki Otsutsuki. All of them are linked directly to him and his folklore and his story and him directly. And we can see here in the Boruto chapter 47, he was able to demonstrate certain powers with his new dojutsu that we can't even explain at the moment, but we can get to that in another video. I just want to get the basis down about how important it is to realize that Isshiki Otsutsuki, every single thing that is the facet of his character, is based off of Issun-bōshi. Just like Momoshiki with Monotaro and Yoroshiki with Unitaro, they're based off Japanese mythologies, where they take their character, their powers, their personality, incorporate it into the character and give this character a meaning behind it. Now this is why we know that Isshiki Otsutsuki has the powers of the magical mallet, because he already has the powers of to shrink stuff, which is part of the storyline, part of the mythology, And we know that he has the symbol of the magic in his magical mallet in his chest, big and bold for all to see. Now this is the jutsu that is linked to his folklore, the Doriyama Eye, the Doriyama Wheel. But we're not going to get to that this video, we're going to get to that in the next video. We just want to deal with Isshiki Otsutsuki, Issun-bōshi, the Koto Ten, Sakini Hokona, the magical mallet, and how all three of those mythologies all link in together with the main antagonist of the Boruto manga that we are currently at. Now this is how we know that Isshiki has the power to grant wishes. Now you see him here with food with Delta. Delta destroys the table. We see that, we know that but not only that, watch what happens. Isshiki pulls out his hand and duplicate and reality warps the table back into existence. Now how did he do that? He did that using the power of Ichini no Konzonchi, the power of his folklore, the power to grant wishes, the power to grant and create things from nothing. So this is how we know Issun-bōshi, his folklore, is linked directly to him, because we've seen him displayed and show forth the power to wish grant already, but we know that eventually we're going to see him do it again, and I expect that to happen soon in the future chapters of the manga. So the magical mallet, the symbol of the magical mallet, is prevalent all over Isshiki Otsutsuki's attire. In Kawaki's hand, we see it here. This is the symbol of the mallet, the Japanese symbol of the mallet. We see it on Isshiki Otsutsuki's chest. So we know that Isshiki Otsutsuki is directly linked to these deities, to this folklore, to this mythology. So I want you to leave this video remembering these four names: Issun-bōshi, the Koto Ten, Sakini Hokona, and the magical mallet of Ichini no Konzonchi. These are the four mythologies that directly link to Isshiki Otsutsuki's storyline, and this can directly coincide with what we see in the time skip with Kawaki. So remember those names, research it, and remember, Isshiki has already demonstrated the power to wish grant. We see it here in chapter 24. It wasn't directly noticed to us, but he was eating food. Delta then abruptly destroys the entire table and everything with it. And not only that, Isshiki just put forth his hand and he manifests every single thing that was destroyed already, including the food, back into existence. And he did that. We know he did that using the power of his folklore, which he is based off of, and Ichini no Konzonchi. So we know that Isshiki has the power to wish grant and create and to work reality. And this is going to be one of the most overpowered abilities we've ever seen in this series. So I want to thank everyone for watching.